written by Margaret E. Baird and R.T. Naylor of the Law Commission of Canada. And it was written in April 14, 1999. This is where they had an opportunity as a foreign country to observe our form of organizing, fighting crime, war, and all this. This should be very interesting. Whatever the speaker wishes it to be is what organized crime is defined as. A massive threat, a theatrical legacy, or petty criminals, or hoodlum bikers. In 1999, for example, according to this document, U.S. supply-focused interdiction strategies was helping in the growth of the international drug trafficking. What this prolonged failure suggests that other objectives were being served. The paper went on to state that reliance on law enforcement data alone is seen to produce an interpretation that is biased and one-sided, artificial, and potentially wrong. Even recorded hard data, such as wiretapped information, is transcribed, summarized, and interpreted by law enforcement officers or prosecutors and become thereby transformed into subjective documents. Politicians are seen to prefer one definition rather than another, due mainly to the platforming that the rhetoric allows, in addition to general vote-gathering considerations. Different constituencies will have different sensitivities and fears that range from the consensual crimes, organized criminals, provide to the exploitative activities they inflict upon communities. Researchers accuse other individuals of manipulating our understanding for organizational or personal gain are equally guilty. The final group, the media, has particular fondness for anything relating to organized crime and work together against the other interest groups to define, dramatize, and deliver to the public the various interpretations of the threats posed by organized crime. The drug trade must be viewed primarily as an economic activity, that it is actually intertwined with rather than distinct from the legal economy. This is the less celebrated and rarely acknowledged underside of U.S.-Mexican economic integration. U.S. hearings, this is from the United States hearing before the C.H.I.P.S Committee on Crime in 1996, page 60, and you should also say page 69. What is really deep is that, remember we was talking about the end of the world folks and how they're really on the World Bank and all of this, and they're talking about the Jews or whatever, they are financing this and that and the other. Well, the interesting thing about this document, this United States hearing before the C.H.I.P.S Committee on Crime in 1996, it states that the leaders in searching out and finding corruption, the leaders are the World Bank and the International Monetary Fund. And I'm just saying that for consideration, because that's leading into the final topic, because we're going to wrap this up. The final topic is related to gangs. Now, we hear a lot of talk about the murders that are committed in our community in the various areas. But the question comes up, based on what you've just heard. They ask the question, what is a gang? What is your definition of a gang? Anyone?
A group of individuals that get together for a common goal, I would say.
And you would be absolutely correct, according to this person, No Suffering Fools article. See, the point is, it goes back to that poem that young man read or wrote. All the people in power have to do is go out there and talk to the kids on the street. And they will tell them exactly what's going on. What is happening with the violence? What is happening overall? Okay, his definition is 3 or more people engaged in criminal activity, usually ages 14 to 21, can be as young as 8 years old, or even in their middle 30s. Recruitment starts in middle school at the ages of 10 and 13, some in elementary school, and into the early years of high school. Usually youth most easily talked into doing work for the gangs. Question, why do the kids join gangs? Their answer?
They're looking for some leadership. They're looking for some guidance in their life. And albeit it might not be the best guidance, but, you know, a lot of these kids come from, you know, single mother households, and they look at these gang leaders as father figures. And they're not, you know, if they're not involved in a lot of sports. I'm a big component for sports, helping children get away from the gang atmosphere. But they look at it as a way out, a way to make money, a way to provide for themselves and their family, and oftentimes, you know, to better their life without thinking it through, you know.
I also think like it's the love that they get.
Yeah.
Because sometimes when it's just a mother and a child, sometimes when you upset at home, you need like a second place to go to. You're supposed to be like a family member. Sometimes people don't got no family to go to, so it's like, man, it's a kid, but it's a grown man telling me something that's real. He showing me love, you know what I'm saying? He might be hungry. He gonna give you something to eat, you know what I'm saying? I got you, man, don't worry about it. So sometimes just the love they show for you when you're a little kid, you look, hey, it's like grab your trust. When you was hungry, they fed you. When you needed something, they protected you. So it's like, man.
It's pretty much what they say. Number one is acceptance. Many feel they are not getting the attention they deserve at home, and often find what they are looking for in a gang. The gang becomes their family. Then number 2 is excitement, the high of committing crimes and getting away with them, being chased by the police, the adrenaline rushes, and the love of the thrill of the crime, of criminal activity. Number 3, to earn money. Selling narcotics, robberies, burglaries, auto thefts, and other property crimes. Number 4, peer pressure. Hanging around gangs and gang members, schoolyards, etc. Kids are pressured to join gangs. 5, protection. In poor neighborhoods, those with high gang activity, kids often have to join a gang just to survive. Number 6, to socialize. The best parties are going on and gang parties. Liquor, narcotics, and access to willing girls/females are attractive to potential gang recruits. Now the other question was, what do kids have to do to get into the gangs?
They usually have to, like, you know, pretty much get beat up by the whole gang. I mean, they can't defend themselves, and sometimes it's 3 or 4, sometimes it's 15 guys at once, so it's just beating you up. Or you gotta prove yourself by going out and committing an act of violence, or something sometimes even worse than that, murder, bloodshed.
That's pretty much what they say. They say kids are required to fight 3 or more over a specified length of time. Then they have like the gauntlet. The Indians used to make you run through the gauntlet, and everybody. They have the gauntlet like running between 2 lines, and they accept a beating as they're going along. Then they have the third one. They said talented recruits are absolved to teach a skill or use their talent to benefit the game, or have good drug connections. They're good at stealing cars, or a car, though they have a car needed to commit a crime with, or just for transportation. Then they talk about walk-ins. Those are cats that just walk in, and they're just asked in some cases. Then they say that there's sex-ins. Females roll dice numbers, and the numbers of the dice is the number of gang members that she has sex with. And they said that there's a rumor sometimes they have sex with people who are HIV positive. I don't know if that's, they indicated they weren't sure about that. Committing crimes such as car theft, systems might require some systems might require even murder. And then they say to the parents, my son Jody lives in the room next door to me. And what signs should I look for to know whether he's in a gang or not?
Callers, abnormal behavior, coming home late.
Yep, that's a big one. The first thing I would say before looking at the colors would be look at the child behavior. If anything changes, it might not be a game, but that should be a tip-off to you that something's going on. And then if a parent notices the change in behavior, then they should ask, son, daughter, what's going on? What are you doing? And if the parent is too busy to notice the change, the games already have a way in.
Okay, that pretty much coincides with what they say. They says, let's see, they display what you might call thuggish behavior, or described as thuggish behavior, and clothing. Then they talk about hand